All right. Right on time today. 10 o'clock. Let's do this. So, all right. Right on time today. Let me make sure there we go. I'm gonna post really quick the link to the Facebook group for those who don't know. And I will put it up at the top so that you can draw along and then share what you did today in the Facebook group. There you go. All right, awesome. Also, we're going to start doing prompts every day. You don't have to do them if you don't want, but if you want to follow along and do the prompts, you're more than welcome to. And there was one more piece of business, and I just forgot what it was. I can't remember. I guess if I remember, I will. Oh, I remember. Yesterday, talking about getting music, I still haven't been able to figure out, from what research I did, if I add music, it will give the potential for my video to get taken down if it plays copyrighted music. So I'll have to, I guess, find a playlist of stuff that's not music that won't be copy strike, but I just feel like it's going to be music I don't want to listen to. But we'll see. We'll see. So, anyways, if you guys can't hear me, let me know. I guess if you couldn't, you wouldn't be able to hear me say that. So, useless. Okay. Well, today's prompt, I decided I'm gonna start with about like 10-minute warm up. So I'm gonna set a timer for myself so I can warm up for about 10 minutes. And 10-minute warm ups starting now. And then today's prompt, what it's going to be is something harmless inspired by something dangerous. Meaning like whatever you drew it and you use for reference or inspiration, something that would normally be considered dangerous. So it can be whatever you want, but today that's what I'm going to draw. I'm not doing that necessarily for my warm-up. I'm just doodling, kind of just working things out for the first few minutes. Kind of warm things up before I actually jump into what's going to be my actual drawing. And in this, you guys can erase. We're not going to do that today. So whatever you want. And then something else I'm looking into is getting like an assistant or intern or someone to help me when I do these live streams to read off questions to me so I don't have to stop and look. And then I'm thinking about also trying to set up getting some guests to come on. Guest artists I can come and draw. I think would be really fun. All right, let's see. Um, are you streaming directly from the iPad? No. I am. Well, here's what I have to do. It's kind of complicated. Um, there might be an easier way. I haven't found it yet. But when I stream, it streams through. I set it up so it streams through Google Hangouts, and then when I'm on Google Hangouts, I screen share. But what I'm screen sharing is the QuickTime application on my iMac, and then the QuickTime application is showing the screen for my iPad that's plugged into my computer. So I'm doing a screen share of my iMac on QuickTime, and QuickTime is doing a screen share of my iPad. So it's kind of like a roundabout way to get there, but that's how that's how I stream. I'd like to find an easier way, but as for right now, that's what I've been doing. So. All right, let's see. Um, really good. We could do Procreate. Yeah. Hey, Twilight Wolf. Yeesh, I can't do that. I'm on PC. Found one application. All right. Yeah, I think it would be nice to have a moderator, someone who could be reading stuff off. I have to take time to stop and check what the comments say every few minutes. How much time we got left? 3 minutes? No warm up? All right. I think we're getting close to time. By the way, the guys, those of you who posted stuff yesterday, great job. Some pretty cool stuff. I'm just excited. I can't wait to see people start to improve, including myself. I can't wait to see, the level of improvement over time. There we go. Time. All right. So that was just a warm up. Get yourself loosened up. And yeah, let's jump into the actual prompt. 2019, year of improvement. That's right. What's the best way to draw animals in perspective without it turning out odd? It's kind of a vague question. I would say what you should do is practice a lot and practice understanding the forms of things. So, for example, with what I'm about to draw right now, the idea I have in my head, if you can understand before you draw it the forms, like the overall shapes and 3D structures of what you're doing, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to, I guess, draw things in perspective or foreshorten them or whatever you need to do than if you're just drawing things from a two-perspective mindset and not thinking about it in a three-dimensional sort of way. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of a difficult question because it's so vague. Sorry. All right, so if you missed it, the link to the Facebook group is up in the top of the chat. And the prompt for today is something harmless inspired by something dangerous. So that's what we're drawing today. You're not required to do the prompt if you don't want to. You could post in the group, but if you'd like to follow along, you totally can. So right here, I'm just starting out really loose. My phone out of the way so it's not vibrating. All right. Not sure why I want him to be holding in that arm, but we'll get to it here in a second. All right. Oops. Let's see. I did 2 of these sketches. Wait, I wasn't paying attention at the beginning. Sorry, there is no theme yet. Um, no, the theme is something cute inspired or something harmless inspired by something dangerous. Oh, yeah, there you go. Prompt. And when you want to find a pose reference and can't find it. All right. What the heck is going on? There we go. I think I'd want the angle of his fishing pole to be a little further back. I guess he looks harmless maybe to people, but seems like he'd probably be not so harmless to a fish. There we go. That definitely makes him seem more shark-like. Might end up doing 2 if we have time. We're going pretty fast. What time are we at right now? Alright, so I'm gonna make a new layer. We're gonna go ahead and lower the opacity here on this one. Let's see, what we got in the chat. I have a question. I want to start a comic, but I have a very rough idea for the story. I struggle with drawing the characters. Want any tips to help? Do you struggle with coming up with what you want them to look like, or you struggle drawing them over and over again and having them look the same? Fisherman Shark, yep. Awesome Sharky, thanks guys. I'm feeling this one. Something harmless inspired by something dangerous is the theme of today's sketch. Thank you, Otto. If you're looking for a post for animals, I found watching Nat Geo videos and pausing to be great. That's not a bad idea. And I'm pretty sure you can find a bunch of that stuff. National Geographic's free. Or at least they're online content for the most part, I think. Don't quote me on that. I mean, I might be wrong, but all right. Do you want this to be a little bit more realistic, even though it's kind of like a funny sketch? Still want it to have a little bit of realism. Oh, makes him look too aggressive. It's gotta be harmless looking. The nose ring for this guy. All right. Um, how do you figure out where to put line weight to make the whole line art look good, etc.? And are you currently in studio freelancing? Yeah, let's go with the first one first. So, um, typically, kind of after drawing for a while, you get a pretty good handle just intuitively of where the line weight should go, but some things you can consciously be aware of in order to amplify that or make it better would be, let's make that bigger. A couple of things would be to think about is a pretty simple rule of thumb you can follow. So the closer something is to the viewer, the darker you want your line art, and the farther away something gets from the viewer, the lighter you want the line art to be. So things on top or in front of other things should have a darker line art to them. And then edges typically have a darker than inside details. And if you keep that rule of thumb, because if you do it backwards, it ends up looking really weird. So like, let's say this was really light and then the inside edges were really dark. And then the thing in the background was darker with really dark, right? It doesn't make any sense, but if you do it the other way, it reads a lot better. So edges should get a little bit more line weight typically than the inside details. The farther something is away, then the lighter. And these are things that you can kind of mess around with, just typically. And then another good one is that the bottom side of something, if you're wanting to suggest some shadow or lighting, should be heavier than the top side. So like if you're drawing a ball, you would want the bottom side of the ball to be darker than the top side and the inside details to be lighter. Something like that. So those are some tips for you. All right. I'm just like blown away. This is gonna sound like I'm bragging, but I'm really not. I'm just like blown away with how quickly you can go from feeling rusty to getting back into the swing of things just by practicing. Because yesterday I just felt so out of touch with my drawing skills, and today I already feel like a billion times better. Just jumping in and getting started. And I can definitely still improve. I'm not saying that, but just like feels good. I don't feel like I'm fighting my pencil today, so it's a good thing. All right. Question was, are you currently in the studio or freelancing? I have kind of a home studio, like my home office that I work in. You might have seen it in some of my YouTube videos. That's where I have my setup, and I don't really do any freelance work right now. I've been considering picking it up again just to get some more projects under my belt. Might be nice, but I kind of stopped doing it because I was making a whole lot more money doing YouTube and Udemy courses than I was freelancing, and it just kind of felt like it was taking up my time but not really doing anything for me. So I stopped doing that. I stopped doing freelance work, at least for now, to focus on my Udemy courses because it was take kind of a lot of work to put out. And so far it's been a really good decision. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see here in the immediate future if I decide to change that. But anyways, all right. Let's see. What do we want to put in this guy's hand? I'm thinking like what I originally had in mind was like a fish trap. I don't know if you've ever seen a fish trap before. kind of made out of wicker, something like that. I should mention, I would like to get a studio. I've been thinking about it and maybe setting up a space with some other artists. I was going to move into a studio space with Jake Parker and Will Terry, if you guys know them. They live um, in the same state as me, but it was just too far. It was just too far of a drive from where I live. Um, feels like it would be an hour drive one way and an hour drive back the other way, and it just wasn't worth it to go that far. So, yeah, a little bit too defined. We want to keep them nice and nice and soft. I think for the most part. Can have a little bit beefier forearms, but all right. All right. Eh. I should maybe, I guess, before I start doing like details, like the color of them, I should finish. Maybe I should finish those other body parts. Um, how do you come up with ideas? What to draw? Nice shark, by the way. Thank you. Um, I think that I actually think that coming up with ideas is really, in my opinion, the easy part. I think what happens to a lot of artists, including myself, is that executing on ideas seems really difficult, or um, like maybe we don't think it'll turn out as good as it is in our head, so we just immediately dismiss it as a bad idea and don't even consider it a good idea, even though we haven't even tried to paint it or create it yet. And I think that's a bad habit to be in as an artist, but also one that can be easily remedied by just starting to actually draw those ideas instead of dismissing them. If you come up with an idea, don't don't give it the boot right off the bat. Even if you think like, oh, that's obviously not a good idea. Like you don't really know if it's a good idea yet. Like, oh, see if you can work with it. See if you can make something out of it so that it is a good idea instead of just automatically throwing it out before you even give it a shot. Another good way, though, I think, to come up with interesting ideas is to um, come up with ideas that seem to sort of create contradictions in themselves, like for example, something harmless inspired by something dangerous, or um, something like trying to think of another example. Another good one that I do sometimes that I think is a good sort of inspiration exercise is drawing something that you use like a household object for inspiration. So, like in my digital sketching course, that's one of the assignments. And I took one of those staple removers and I um, drew like a dragon sort of creature out of that. And yeah, I think that's a really great exercise for doing something like for coming up with good ideas. I'm gonna come back and do some shading, but I want to do it all at once. I just noticed that and said I want to keep it nice and clean right there. I do want to incorporate some fish knitting somewhere, but I'm just like not sure where exactly. But and I don't want it. I before anyone says it, I don't want them to have fishnet stockings. All right. Do you have any films you think would be a great watch for concept artists, like for inspiration or like really good examples of great concept art? Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's kind of a given, but I think Avatar um, has some of the best concept art around. It's amazing. I think Star Wars has some really great stuff. Um, I think that Valerian City of a Thousand Planets was a pretty bad movie, but the as far as the visual effects go, it was pretty awesome. That would be a good one. Studio Ghibli movies, man, they have some pretty great art in them. Just the way they look is a really good study for how to get certain feels and emotions portrayed in your movie or in your art. I think that's a really good one. Oh, we're almost out of time. Wow, time flies. Time flies when you're drawing sharks. All right. I also wanted to draw some fish that he caught hanging down here. I hope I can. We might go a little bit over time today because well, we got 10 minutes. We'll see. I might be able to get it done in time. Having a little bit of trouble with these legs here. Um, but that should probably be the priority right at this point. Make sure that I actually get it finished. Sloppy line. Let's clean that up. Yeah, well, not entirely satisfied with those feet or legs, but that's why we're doing this so we could get better, learn how to start drawing quicker. Go a little quicker here. I'm like trying to hurry before we run out of time. Yeah, man, I gotta get some music. And a moderator. I wish I could be talking the whole time, but I sound super conceited. But I uh, I just wouldn't be able to draw if I was looking at the comments the whole time. Gonna do a little bit of magic here. Yeah, not too thrilled about the legs, but a little late now. Oh well. Let's no, let's try one more thing, I think. Mm, maybe that helps a little bit. I don't know. Come on. Yeah, definitely not happy with those legs, but guess we better practice some more. And we are at like 3 minutes left. All right, we're gonna have to call this good enough for today. I'm gonna do a quick little shade here on his arms and back. Oh, and we gotta finish up his fishing pole. Might end up painting the sky eventually. We'll see. Like I'm gonna say that about a lot of these, but we'll see. We will see. Fishing pole. I'm gonna turn off that underdrawing layer now because I don't think we need it anymore. Remember when I thought I was gonna do 2 of these in the time limit? Ha ha, good times. All right. Fishing pole. Focus. All right. I think it would have been fun to add some more trinkets and stuff on him, but we ran out of time. Maybe next time on the next one we will be a little faster. Be a little faster than that, and we can get more done. But that is it for today's. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll take one last look at the comments really quick and answer any questions I see after I move his nose to more accurate location. That's huge. There we go. All right, let's see. Start with the word questions. When I draw a face at an angle, most of the time the eye furthest away turns out weird as I get confused if I should make the exact same as the one closest. You should not, because there is perspective. So just real quick, we'll do a quick tutorial here. This is going to be really rough and dirty. You have eyes that are facing you head on. They're basically the exact same shape, right? As we can see, defined by this box. Now, if those eyes are in perspective, then we would also be drawing that box in perspective, which means one eye is going to be bigger and more elongated than the other eye. So they will be in perspective. You don't want to draw them the same. Just gonna take a lot of practice. I recommend looking at reference photos. I also have a course on Udemy just about drawing eyes, and it's completely free. Anyone can take it. Doesn't cost any money. So if you feel like you struggle with drawing eyes, go check that course out. It talks about this topic that I just illustrated a little bit more in depth. Make 10 your feet, maybe actually. Stop it. Stop getting me to do stuff when the time limit's up. Oh, this would be easier actually. Yeah, that does help. Good job. All right. Let's see. What brush do you use? For this, I'm using the fat pencil brush that Mike Henry came up with, which is just a technical pencil with a max size increase. If you YouTube fat pencil, you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to find his video about how he does it. I think he did great. Thanks, Honey Sriracha. I had to say her last name because I didn't want someone to think I was just calling one of my followers Honey. And looks awesome. Nice. Thanks, guys. I had a good time. Be sure, I'll post the link again really quick. Be sure to post whatever work you did in the Facebook group and show us what you came up with. I really like seeing these so far. And post on Instagram with hashtag sketchgrind or hashtag daily sketchgrind. And I'm going to get an Instagram here. I actually have an Instagram. I made one yesterday for it. So if you want to go follow it, you can. It's the Daily Sketch Grind on Instagram. And I'm just waiting to get a bit more art that you guys have posted so that I can consistently post stuff every day. So I'm just waiting for there to be a bit more stuff out there that you guys have put out. So y'all better get on it. You better start posting some stuff so that we can get this show on the road. So anyways, that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. sharp. Same thing. We'll have a new prompt and something new and fun for us to draw. So I'll see you guys in the next one.